Doing 47 all day for real, on the grind, back in the building, handling that business, popping off as much rugby league information as possible. Right now, just a random little something, game that I happened to go to this year in the 2023 season, the round 26 Bulldogs versus Manly game, Sunday afternoon at Accor Stadium. A game where in the second last round of the regular season, both teams well out of finals contention, but also safe from the wooden spoon, so permission to throw caution to the wind, throw the ball around, try and be entertaining, put on stacks of tries, so to speak. That's what I thought would happen, and it's what did happen. Eventually, Manly won 42 points to 24, so 66 points, a extremely high scorer. 7 tries by Manly and 4 by Bulldogs, and we'll just go through it score by score, just to recount it, because I was fortunate enough to get to go to this game. So first of all, Bulldogs, for the first 10 or 15 minutes, they started strongly, and they scored first through Corey Waddell. Corey Waddell, of course, used to play for Manly before now he plays for Bulldogs. Corey Waddell scoring converted by Matt Burton, and at that point, Bulldogs led 6 points to 0. But then after that, Bulldogs stamina didn't really last, and Manly had put on 3 quick tries just before half-time to gain the ascendancy. Tries via Jason Saab, Toafofoa Sipley, and also Raymond Tuimalo Veaga, I think that's how you say his name, and Raymond Veaga's try just before half-time. That was his very first career try, in fact, and Manly have of course signed him for 1 more year at least. So next year in 2024, I think he'll pick up a lot of tries. I think he'll progress in leaps and bounds, get maybe 14, 15, 16 tries for the season. I think he'll really break out of his shell next year. So with those 3 tries by Manly, the first 2 converted by Daly Evans, and Raymond Veaga's try not converted for Manly to lead 16 points to 6 at half-time. Then in the second half, it was more Manly. They got the next 2 tries via Haumole Olakauatu, and also the captain Daly Evans. And Daly Evans, his try was an excellent one, a solo try where he put on some fancy footwork from about 50 metres out before eventually having enough speed to outpace the defenders and score. Those 2 tries, Evans converted. Manly led 28 points to 6. Bulldogs then got a try to give him a bit of a sniff by Jake Averillo, who I think is a very underrated player for them. And bewilders me the fact that Jake Averillo, he's been picked up by the Dolphins for 2024. So I don't know why Bulldogs let him go, because I thought he played excellent in a poorly performed team this year. He got the next try, Jake Averillo, after Cherry Evans had, of course, thrown a bad pass that went backwards behind the Manly players, which allowed Averillo to pick it up and race away and score. Matt Burton converted to get it back to Manly 28, Bulldogs 12. But then Manly kicked away again, getting the next 2 tries via Lachlan, Croker, and then Jason Saab picking up second. Those 2 converted by Daly Evans for Manly to lead 40 points to 12. At that point, and special mention in this game to Manly's fullback, Toafofoa. Of course, Tom Trbojevic been injured for most of the season, which is unfortunately the norm for them. So the replacement fullback, Toafofoa, even though he didn't actually score any tries in this game, he was lethal at the back, and he made, I think, 3 long-range line breaks and gained over 200 metres altogether in the game. And he, of course, ended up setting up both of Jason Saab's tries for Manly. So even though he didn't score, he's not on the scorers list. Brilliant game by Toafofoa. So after all that, Manly had led 40 points to 12 before Dogs got 2 more tries via the 2 halves, Cole Flanagan and Toby Sexton, which were both converted by Matt Burton to bring the score back to 40 points to 24. Toby Sexton, like I said, I was at the game. When he scored, the big screen announcement said, "This try scored by Toby Sexton and his sponsor, AM/PM Air Conditioning." Of course, you've always heard me saying your boy popping off AM/PM. So there's a company called AM/PM Air Conditioning too, coincidentally. Then the final score of the game, another Manly player who's just played a couple of games at the end of this year, but I think could also blossom next year. The hooker, Gordon Kham Kum Tong. He was given the last penalty goal attempt, just for the sake of it, because Manly had the game wrapped up. It didn't matter if he missed it, but it was a close range run, and he did the right thing and got it. So, first points he's ever scored in his career, Gordon Kham Kum Tong, and I think he'll blossom as well next year. So there you go. 2023 round 26, Sunday afternoon at Accor Stadium. Manly 42, Bulldogs 24. Your boy Deal 47.